Okay, one of the most common issues for beginners, and I get asked this a lot. Someone asked me recently to post a video about this, is playing bar chords, and how do you get to that point where you can play bar chords? And I've got a couple different answers for that. One, sometimes you don't have to, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But first, you should be able to play bar chords. First and foremost, I want to make sure it's perfectly clear. I'm not saying you don't need to learn how to play bar chords. You clearly, to play guitar, you're going to need to know how to play bar chords. But and it's a little bit of a struggle when you're playing C, G, D, A, E. All those chords are pretty easy, E minor, A minor, whatever. And then you've got this cumbersome bar chord that it takes all four fingers. You got to get sound out of all these. So I'm just going to kind of share with you some of the tricks that I've used with students through the years of helping them get to the place where they can play bar chords without really struggling too much. It's still going to be work. You're still going to have to put the time in. And it's going to be painful at times, but eventually you'll be able to do it, and it'll be a great thing to add to your repertoire. So first thing you want to do is just start maybe practicing barring your finger across all 6 strings and try to get a sound through all the strings, okay? And a lot of times your thumb is going to have to be pretty far down on the neck, okay? It'll be difficult to play a bar chord if your thumb is up here, and I'll tell you why. If this joint is bent at all right here, okay, if you bend that joint, that's not enough finger length, okay, to cover 6 strings. I can get about 4 strings with that, but to get all 6, I'm going to have to keep my finger completely straight. I can bend at the knuckle here, but I can't bend any joint in the finger, okay? So that's the first thing. And so consequently, to do that, to keep the finger that straight, you're going to have your thumb down low. As soon as your thumb comes up here, your finger bends, okay? So you're going to have to keep your thumb behind the neck or even below that, okay? And on an F chord, for example, if we look at the notes, I'm going to give you the fret numbers here. 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. I said 3 ones. There are 3 notes in this chord that depend on the bar, okay? So the bar can be a little bit lax here. It doesn't necessarily need to be as strong in the middle as it is at the bottom string and the top 2 strings. But as soon as you play an F minor chord, now we have 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. Now we have 4 notes depending on the bar, okay? Same thing is true with an F7 chord. So if I play F and take off the pinky, I've got 4 notes here that depend on the bar. Or if I played F minor 7, now 5 of 6 notes are actually depending on the bar, okay? So you're going to want to be able to get that bar down. So you can just practice doing that. You can even just go up the neck and just kind of practice squeezing the neck. And this is where some of the pain might come in. You might feel it here in your hand, in the muscle of your between your thumb and your index finger. You might feel it along your finger where the strings are making dents, okay? But that's just one start. That's a starting place, okay? Then once also the next thing you want to do is you want to try to get the rest of the fingers down, and just remember it's just an E chord moved up a fret and barred. So this is your human capo right here, okay? This is your God-given capo. So, and you can play, basically, once you have a bar chord, the cool thing about it is you've technically learned 12 chords because this is movable. Open chords, you can move them around, but they're not harmonically equivalent, okay? They become completely different chords when you move them. But bar chords, if it's a major chord at the 1st fret, it's a major chord at the 3rd fret, it's a major chord at the 5th fret, and so on. So it's a great tool to learn and add a lot of chords to your repertoire. So, all right, so one of the tricks that I've given my students to help you learn how to play this chord is play it just once, one strum, and go to another chord and play that chord once, one strum, and go back to the F chord and then back to the other chord. So for example, you could just take all your caged chords, C, A, G, E, and D, okay, and you can alternate those with F. Now, a lot of times when we practice, we make the mistake of practicing the stuff that we don't need practice on to get to the stuff that we do need practice on. Say you're working on a piece that's 32 measures, and there's 2 measures that are just killing you, okay? Those are the 2 measures you need to work on. You need to do those 1,000 times until you have them. You don't even think about them. This is a classical guitar trick. When I studied classical guitar, or anytime I've worked up a classical piece, there's always going to be a couple bars in there that are going to give you trouble. Those are the ones you need to work. if you play the whole song, all 32 bars to work on the 2 bars, you've kind of wasted your time. You're going to get the song up a lot faster if you concentrate on the weaknesses. So same thing here. If you got a song that only has an F chord every now and then, and you're practicing that song, and when you get to that F chord, you're having trouble and you're having to stop. Okay, all that other time playing all those other chords that you don't have a problem with, kind of a waste of time. So what I tend to tell my students to do is to go ahead and play one F chord and then maybe one E chord, one F, one C, one F, one A. Practice, because where the problem is going to be is not only getting a sound out of it, okay? The problem is going to be getting to it quickly. That's actually going to be a bigger problem than getting a sound out of it. Eventually you'll be able to get a decent sound out of a bar chord, especially if you move it up the neck where the fret's a little smaller and you're not fighting the nut. See, the F is a hard chord because the nut is right there and you're really fighting the nut. You're having to push down, okay? So this is, so what I would do is maybe C, F, A, F, G, F, E, F, D, F, or you can keep it all in the same key as F, so maybe in the key of C, we could say C, F, A minor, F, G, F, E minor, F, D minor, F. You can just keep going back and forth between, and you can even just pick on 2 chords, C to F. Now, this is good for anything. If you're having trouble getting to a G chord, you know, sometimes the D chord can be kind of challenging. Just practice back and forth between 2 chords. Just hit them a bunch of times. Maybe even get them as fast as you can get them. Okay? Alright. I'm going to break this up into 2 videos. But this is basically just talking about getting to the F chord and playing an F chord and working it. Alright? So try that. That should get you started. And we'll do the same thing with B flat later. Or B. That's the other chord that everybody struggles with. But what I'm also going to show you is I'm going to show you some alternates to playing an F chord, okay? But first and foremost, it's important to be able to play it. Then you can get to alternates, and I'll give you reasons why I do that on the next video. God bless you. Bye.